I'm Dan, and this is 10,000 Hours of Indie, a podcast exploring new music and delving deeper into what goes on in the background of the independent music industry. I'm a musician and passionate music lover, and I wanted to delve deeper into new music in the independent scene around the world. I also saw this as a chance to help artists connect and share their stories, so if there's someone you hear and you want to find out more about, every podcast has links in the show description. Get involved, help this community grow, follow on the 10,000 Hours of Indie socials, you can find all the links in the show description. And also feel free to email me about anything music related, 10,000indie@gmail.com. I'm open to any ideas and love listening to your promos. The Neurophonic Temple are a heavy psychedelic noise rock trio from Osnabrück, Germany, consisting of David on drums and vocals, Marcus on guitar and vocals, and Peter on bass. Formed in 2023, they released an EP the following year and have just released the first single, Nuance of Bizarre, from their upcoming debut album Transgressive Sonic Stimuli in April. It's pretty epic, so I wanted to find out more, and I'm chatting with David and Marcus. Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yes, hi, thanks.
So, you're the first singing drummer I've had on the podcast, David.
Oh, I'm honoured.
There's not many of you out there.
No, I think there's more coming, but, you know, the classic singing drummers are fading away.
So the press release for the album states, "What does a saltwater trout hallucinate when swimming through toxic chemical waste? The answer lies within the Neurophonic Temple." Is there a backstory to this question, something humorous where this originally came from?
A real backstory isn't there, but we former released a little EP with 4 tracks, and one track is called Steelhead. That's American slang word for a kind of fish swimming in salty water. And the song deals about the idea that this fish gets hallucinations while swimming in chemical waste. And that was our first, like to say, hit, because the live audience liked this song very much. So this was the idea, and we're kind of fans of mystical and a little bit psychedelic sound and words too. You know, our words come mostly from David, and we love to make it a little bit
funny.
Yeah.
Tongue in cheek. So the steelhead trout, I read, is like one of the only fishes who, I mean, it's a saltwater fish, but when they spawn, they go into fresh waters. So I kind of thought about the journey of this fish going into fresh waters and, you know, just going through pesticides and chemicals being pumped out into the rivers. And he starts to hallucinate, of course, or she. So that's the story behind what is a saltwater trout hallucinate.
So how did the three of you meet and get together and start deciding to form a band?
In former times, Peter, the bassman, and me, we played in another band, and we lost our drummer because of causes. He's still alive and healthy, but we are looking for a new drummer, and we made a little advert at our exercising room. Hey, we're looking for a drummer making psychedelic noise, for example. And it took months. We had another drummer that was horrible. And after a month, David called us. Yes. He said, hey, you're doing psychedelic. I would like to join you. Then we met, and, well, fits from the first moment. Perfect match, would say.
Yeah. I mean, it took us a while to kind of get a sound going. But I would say, I mean, within the first year, we kind of hit upon that sound and started writing songs.
We did a lot of sessions and just jamming around, and we found a kind of a direction and a kind of shared vibe we're doing. That was great.
So you've just released the first single, Nuance of Bizarre, and the second, Sea of Bornite, is due on March the 20th. Was it a conscious decision to release the first 2 tracks from the album prior to its release?
Not necessarily that they were the first 2 tracks, but I mean, I think both of them kind of sum up what we do best. When you hear the word single, you know, you think of radio and hits, and we said, okay, Nuance of Bizarre, which is a 7-minute song, which is kind of the last thing people would think to release as a single, but it kind of just sums up what the band has done to this point, and we just went with it.
Well, to be honest, the idea was from our promoter from Work Music, Thomas. He said, hey, you did a recording session for a little album. It's just a small album with 5 songs. And to make a good PR strategy, it would be great to have a single first and then a second single to make the audience kind of hungry for more. That's what he said.
Obviously, as I mentioned, the album isn't out yet. For the people who listen to this podcast, can you tell us a bit more about the sort of themes in the lyrics from the album?
Yeah, they're kind of all over the place, but it's all kind of in the psychedelic vein. Just kind of taking weird ideas, putting them together to kind of explore what comes out. The vocals in definitely the lyrics are kind of like the last thing we put on our music. And being a drummer, I have to coordinate 2 legs and 2 arms. And now I have to, singing, I have to coordinate that. So I kind of tend to structure my singing, structure the vocals along with like the rhythmic patterns, because it just comes natural to me. And then I just start making noises in different vowel sounds and consonant sounds. And so when I go to actually write lyrics, I'm kind of thinking of these sounds I've been making in practice, and then just kind of just sit down, take some time, and try to do something with kind of weird themes. And, what comes out is what comes out. So we had the story about the steelhead trout. So See a Boar Night, for example, is a pretty psychedelic song, really psychedelic. And that's about kind of trying to find enlightenment by licking bornite. It's a really beautiful stone. And of course, you're licking copper sulfide. So it begins to kind of work, and you can kind of get into different dimensions and even maybe hallucinate some. But at the end of the day, like, you're just oxidizing your brain because it's basically poison. I guess like anything, you just start, and what comes out, comes out.
Have you always been a singing drummer, David, or is this the first time you've done both at the same time?
I've been playing music for decades, and only within the past 5 years I've actually sung while playing drums. This is the second band I've done it in, but it's still pretty new to me.
Are you a drummer who sings or a singer who drums?
I'm a drummer who sings. Nobody else wanted to do it, so I said, okay, I'll do my best.
And to my understanding, the voice of David is more an additional instrument than a voice of a lead singer. It's a part of our whole energy and texture of sound.
Do you think that comes from the fact you mentioned that you quite liked metal when you were younger? So, metal vocalists, generally, it's more of an instrument than a lyrical thing.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, after I went through, my metal phase in high school, I started getting into like underground bands like Jesus Lizard, Melvins, The Cows. The singing was treated as an additional instrument. So I guess that's just kind of what I know. So when I went to sing, that's kind of like the first thing that just kind of came out. And obviously when we play live, I always have to tell the sound men to keep my vocals kind of in the mix. Because, if they put them on top, like it's some sort of like lead singer, it just sounds weird.
Did you find this an easy album or mini album to make?
Yeah, it wasn't that difficult. One of the songs we had a little problem with the vocals, but it's good that we have like some recording abilities in our practice space. So we actually shared time between a professional studio and then cutting vocal tracks and overdubs in our little studio. So it actually, in that process was just, it was really smooth.
Okay, for us the challenge was in the studio to sound really authentic, because we played live, on the instruments were live, and we did that because we wanted that it's not an approach of polished over or technicalized. It should be real and authentic, and so to our mind the energy comes across much better. That was our way to go into the studio. And when we did the songs live in the exercising room, David was screaming at the song he was talking about. In the studio, it was a bit more, I can hear every little nuance of my word. It's not that's what I expected to hear when I sing.
Favourite song on the album, if you have one?
Favorite song to play is a song on the album called Consciential Paradigms. Favorite song to listen to? I don't know. I like them all.
Same I do. Our opening song for live gigs is mostly these consensual paradigms because it's rough energy. But to cover the range of our musical experience and what we want to say, I think Nuance of Bizarre is really, really on the point. But I love them all. I love Chrome Magnet. For example, the bassman does not love Chrome Magnet.
Well, actually, as a bass player myself, I'm a vocalist as well, but as a bass player myself, I was going to say Chrome Magnet is mine because I love the bass lick, and I think the vocals sound really crisp and nice on that one as well.
Cool, thanks.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
That, to me, should have been a single because it's punchy and it's short and it's concise and it's...
I love that song, but the other guys say, no, it's not our strongest song.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel.
Sorry, David.
No. I mean, I like that song. Yeah, but it's funny. Yeah, when we thought about singles, I mean, you might have thought about it, but I didn't think about it. And the bass player, I mean, it's a cool bass line, but the bass player just always I don't know.
Is that the one where he shrinks back when you play live? He shrinks back and goes, oh, not this one again.
Right.
In my opinion, you've managed to make an album which crosses enough genres that fans of any rock subgenre will find something they like in this album. Was that intentional, or is that just something that kind of happened when you were making it?
It wasn't intentional. I think it just kind of just happened.
It happened, yeah, for sure, yeah. That's what we love and what we like and what we do. And if it fits to more people than just for one genre, it's okay. But it was never intended, no.
For me, I can hear little snippets of so many things. Have you all got quite different listening tastes outside of the band?
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
It's funny that you're talking about that because David and me, we got a big... we have an approach to the same kind of music. We love these early 16th garage sound. And our bassman never heard of these bands we're talking about. But I think in the 90s, I was never on the heavy metal side. I was these English underground bands, little bands nobody knows today. But in the end, the mixture makes it, I think.
Just kind of just different styles and tastes coming together.
This is your first, full-length album, first proper output as opposed to just an EP. What have you all learnt about each other during the process?
I think while doing the recording session, there were no big surprises. I know that David is crazy about music and kind of addicted in a positive way. I think I'm the same a little bit. Peter is more pragmatic. He's playing the bass pragmatic and says keep it simple is his always wisdom. But we're kind of, let's do it in this little corner, a little bit more like this and that. Focus on details sometimes. But it's good that there's Peter, for example, who's saying, okay, it's good like it is. You don't have to do it one more and one more and one more. It doesn't get better.
It's good to have a member in the band like that, to be fair. Otherwise, it can go on forever.
Yeah, but sometimes it's too easy for him. And we say, no, we have to do it again because of... When we talk about the bass line. But in general, we did a good demo before we went into the studio. Each of us knew what to do.
3 of the songs were songs we had been playing live a while. So those were kind of just, they came. Well, one of the ones in the studio was new. So that was kind of interesting. Actually, we went into the studio and weren't sure if it'd be good at all. But I guess I found out about the other guys that, they did their homework as much as I did. So when we actually came together to do it in the studio, it worked out.
Are you going to let us in on which song that was?
That was the song Sia Bornight.
Okay.
That was kind of like a last-minute decision. Okay, well, let's finish that up and do that.
Well, it doesn't stand out, so it obviously worked.
Yeah.
I skipped social media with you guys because I couldn't find anything other than decent pictures and gig posters and things, so there wasn't really a lot that I needed to say about that, so I focused a bit more on your YouTube. You haven't got much on there, but there is the live video for Steelhead. It seems like you're pretty intense live, David.
I try to be.
He is, for sure. And Peter, me too.
I try to be intense because you want people to kind of, you want to get their attention somehow.
Would you say that live you're sort of the band leader, David?
Maybe. I mean, I always set up in the middle between those two guys. And I set up at the front of the stage because I always think it kind of looks goofy when there's a singing drummer like in the back of the stage on a drum riser. And there's guys in the front playing guitar and bass who aren't singing, just kind of headbanging and stuff. So I guess I set up in the middle, and I play really loud. So I guess maybe that's what kind of just draws everybody's ears and eyes to the band. I don't know.
To my opinion, David is the center of our band. But on live gigs, we share the job because he's singing and doing all these great jobs on the drums. And between two songs, I'm the one that's talking to the audience, make some jokes and give the others a chance to breathe a little moment. We clearly decided to do it this way.
Yeah.
I said, my English words are good, but nobody understands me when I'm doing jokes between two songs. So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
You tried it 2 times, I think.
My jokes, nobody gets my jokes.
You try them in English or German?
Both. It just depends. I used to, for a couple gigs, I was quoting something from the Misfits' Evil Live album, where Glenn Danzig said something about pounding the guitars like jackhammers. Nobody got it. But I couldn't believe nobody had the Evil Live album. I mean, it just seems like such a staple, but whatever. So live, Marcus helps out. There's a song Marcus sings lead vocals on. He helps me with backing vocals and even things like, they aren't always backing vocals. Sometimes we have songs where like Nuance of Bizarre where he has his own lead vocal part in it. And then of course, trying to say something smart or funny to entertain the crowd is kind of more his department.
You play in a genre that allows for a lot of deviation live. Is that something you do, or do you stick to the script pretty much, as it were?
I guess the deviations are kind of more smaller deviations. I mean, we have parts where we can extend parts, play them shorter or longer, and just kind of signal each other. But otherwise, it's pretty much kind of true to the song every time.
What would be your ultimate support slot? Which band, if you could have any band, who would you want to support?
It's a dangerous question, I think.
Yeah, that's a good question. There's a band from Switzerland called Dirty Sound Magnet who has been like really busy and just doing one thing after. I don't think they ever stopped playing music or stopped touring. And I wrote several clubs to see if we could get an opening slot for them because I love their music. Unfortunately, they're going through Germany right now and they didn't want an opening band. But that would be one band where it'd be awesome to be a support for them.
Well, it's hard because when we say the name of one band, the listener will automatically put us in the same direction like this band, you know?
Not necessarily. I mean, I always, when I used to organise shows, I always put 2 or 3 bands from completely different genres on because they had the same energy, for example.
So me in person, I would love to play a support, for example, for Monster Magnet, because I like their energy too, but it's not a reference band.
There was a look given to you, I saw there from David. You've only got one show listed that I can find at the moment, which is Hildesheim on the 22nd of May. Is there more to come in terms of gigs and things like that?
Yeah, we're working on it right now, and Thomas from Broken Music, I mean, he's not we don't have an exclusive contract with him for booking, but every once in a while he'll send us something over if we can do it. So yeah, things are kind of slow right now, but hopefully it should pick up this year.
Well, we have 2 more scheduled right now, Bonn, but it's not not fixed right now.
Yeah.
And for sure we play shows in Osnabrück, but...
Are you hoping for some festival slots and things like that, maybe?
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
The final question, what music are you listening to at the moment that listeners to the podcast may not be aware of and should take some time to check out?
So I've been listening to I bought a few, they're reissues, but it's a guy who made several guitar albums, Master William Burchetta. And evidently he was like really into the occult and kind of mysticism and built his own guitar and has some really cool, like just kind of psychedelic, meditative guitar sounds. And evidently him and his brother managed his music and they made a record label for it. And he sold all his records through mail order. I guess it was the late 70s, early 80s. Oh, there's that huge reissue label in the States whose name isn't hitting me right now, but they've re-released all his records. So Master William Burchetta.
Okay. How about you, Marcus?
Well, these days I'm listening to old psychedelic bands, for example. It flows. Sometimes I listen to 80s sound, then to electronic music from the 2000s. And these days it's kind of music like Count 5, 13th Floor Elevator, this stuff, you know. And I love television personalities very much, but I cannot talk about them with David or Peter. They say, "Oh, that's not my stuff." I have a love for these 80s goth stuff too. It doesn't find any resonance in our music, but Tube Wave Army, for example, I like very much, but nobody knows them, I think.
Yeah, I love Tube Wave Army.
Yes.
Yeah, Gary Newman.
Yeah.
So for anyone wishing to find out more about the Neurophonic Temple, you're on Instagram, Bandcamp and YouTube. Transgressive Sonic Stimuli by the Neurophonic Temple is due for release on the 17th of April on CD and via all streaming services via Blue Turk. David and Marcus, thank you so much.
Daniel, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.